Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Barn Burner. It's good to see everyone today. Get your helmets on, it's a game day. As the Flames are in New Jersey to take on the Devils.
Hi, Dean. How you doing? Shh. Oh, there he goes.
Dean was your host.
Luckily, we have two more of us.
I don't think I'm a host.
You're certainly not.
Not an insider.
What are you, Rhett?
I don't know.
Yeah. So many options out there. How could you nail down what you
went
are?
and bought a dry erase board, and maybe I should write on it.
You gotta whiteboard some ideas. Figure out what you are.
What are those circles and the circles and the lines and what you're good at, what you're better at?
The SWOT analysis, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's CODA stand for?
CODA?
I think so.
Canadian Olympic Development Association, something like that? No, not that one. Okay.
It's more of a personal development kind of thing, or rules to live by, code of conduct almost. Jack, you're a scholar and literaturist.
No.
Correct.
He just said before the show he hasn't read a book. Jack, can you confirm that?
I can't. I've read a comic book.
Archie? Venom? Do you like are you a collector of great classic comics?
I do have some classic comics. I got my dad's old ones, like Spider-Man, Superman's. Oh, I'm getting a text.
I'll give you $20.
Is that Dean? Is he done?
Yeah, he just told me to shut up. So
hey, Jack, shut up.
Don't we have a guest today that we have to get to?
At some point, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is interesting. Someone in the chat here suggesting that Dean is pulling a Rhett. What would that mean, Rhett?
I don't know. KQ. You DQ. Well, onward and upwards. What's the first thing we got to do? Is the opening statement?
No, that'll be after the game tomorrow. We do that. That's a post-game morning thing.
See, I'm not.
It is Flames and Devils tonight retro. It is Tyler Toffoli. It is Yegor Sharangovich. And of course, the other pick was the third rounder that turned into Suniev, who's playing at UMass. This will be the talking point tonight. And Jack Hughes is back for the Devils.
The Service Big Share is back for the 6th year with your chance to win $1 million just by saving money. Anyone can enter by becoming a member and saving with Service. Of course, that's Service Credit Union. Every $500 saved gives you 5 entries into the Service Big Share contest. Transfer your existing savings to Service for chances to win $1 million. Contest ends April 30th, 2024. Skill testing question required. For rules and details, visit service.ca/win. That's service.ca/win.
Yeah, I see what's going on here. This is going to be a major cluster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm picking up.
Well, if you'd like to stay with us today, Dean's going to sabotage the show because he's in a shitty mood.
I thought he told us yesterday how much great sleep he was getting. And
no, I don't buy that.
Not, I just know.
I had a snuggle nap in yesterday and went to bed early. Oh, baby. Are we feeling good today?
See, this is what happens with me. I've been eating good all week.
Yep.
My energy levels are way, way up.
Mhm.
Now I want to go get plastered and
My existence. This is it.
yes.
Yeah, you work hard twice a week. My wife forces all sorts of healthy food in me, and I'm just like, well, now I have to go drink. I feel too
I feel so
I
damn
feel
good.
so
I need
good. I need to go out and celebrate.
to
I had to restrain myself last night. The kid's down in bed. Mom was in Vegas. She saw you two at the Sphere last night. Surprised
Oh,
her
and?
friend at the loved it. Said it was phenomenal. I mean, I haven't really talked, but the videos on Instagram look good. So I'm sure she had a great time. But hey, the kids are in bed. Let's go for a pint. But then there's no one at home, and the kids are in
bed.
bed.
And you knew Dean wouldn't stop by.
Well, he's not in the hood. I don't blame him for that. That's fine. If Dean was down the street, that's okay.
Then for sure he'd stop
Yeah,
by.
or we could just meet at the rink. Put a coat. We actually got to get all the snow off the rink first. A lot of snow here, Rhett, last few days, and now we got to get it off, get it flooded. We
How
lost
are
a
the
lot of
mountains?
ice over the last 2
How
weeks.
are the mountains? Is there any skiing? Do people hit the hills?
You know what people do, but it's not a bumper crop this year. It is not a
I've
not a
heard.
great year for the snow.
my buddy-
sadly have to report.
And my buddy Durr has spent a lot of weekends in Calgary because there's not enough snow.
That's kind of what it is. And he's the one that's the place down by the Crow's Nest Pass.
Yeah, Castle. Yeah.
It's lower altitude there. That even makes things worse potentially. So there you have it. How are we feeling about the Flames heading into
The
New
skiing
Jersey
conditions
tonight?
are better than ever at Marmot Basin. It's time to experience Jasper. This family day, maybe take a sleigh ride, dog sledding, skate on a glacier-fed lake. At Marmot Basin, there's a daycare, ski and snowboard lessons for kids of all ages. For more info on these great events and more, go to jasper.travel. That's jasper.travel.
Gonna hang? No, he's gone. Okay.
Oh, we know what's happening.
Jack is just loving this.
I'm confused as to where I'm going to watch this game.
See that you've had a week to figure this out, so I'm sure you've got a plan.
How do you figure it out? Like, what do you?
Okay, you go to a sports bar because they'll have the game.
You know what? I have practice at 4:30,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a sports bar in the basement. Massive screen. Massive.
Perfect. Looks great.
With a
Give them
wall.
a call ahead. Ask them what flavored wings they have, and if the Rangers game, if the Devils game will be on tonight. There you go.
Make shit happen.
Cammy's
Yeah.
depending on you. It's you and Cammy tonight for Afterburner. Second of the 4-game road trip. We're hammering the Andrei Kuzmenko, or Kuzmenkov, as you would say, anytime goal prop. Boy, did he look good. Buzz of the town. It's all people want to talk about, Rhett.
Well, that's good. How do you go from 39 as a rookie to in the doghouse with Tocchet?
It is honestly, the more I think about this trade, the more it might be the Kuzmenko deal than anything else, because essentially the Canucks are paying for, let's call it 30 regular season games and a playoff run. They got a big check they've got to cut for Philip Hronik. Don't do this to me, Rhett, you jackass.
I'm not going down. I just don't. Nobody needs to see me coughing, and I've got.
That's fair.
something's going
That's
on.
fair. Don't you do this to me. We can't have two assholes today.
Carry on.
But like, the skill set is elite. To your point, you don't fall into the NHL.
If you're
score
looking for a
39.
place to watch the game tonight, there's none better than Mad Rose Pub in Royal Oak. 20 beers on tap, kid-friendly Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And it's great food. This is not run-of-the-mill bar food. Burgers, pasta, steak. Thursday is pasta day. 25% off all pasta dishes on the menu. And of course, we know about their pizzas. Just some of the best you're going to find in the entire city. The dough and sauce made fresh daily. 15 Royal Vista Place. Flames and Devils on the screens tonight, starting at 5 o'clock. It's Mad Rose Pub. Go and check out Mad Rose.
I think you're right, though. I think this guy. I mean, if you get a 40-goal scorer,
How rare is that, right? Like, who recently has even flirted with that? You had the top line, Kachuk, Gaudreau, and Lindholm all do it the one magical year. But you think about There's a small handful of players in the last decade that have been able to get to 40. And that, even if he doesn't, if you had a 35 goal guy, you look at the skill, the speed, the pace he plays with, it's dynamic. Maybe you get a little more out of Huberdeau as a result. But look, maybe this isn't for him and he's going to test free agency in 2 summers and you can move him for a haul. Or it's like, this is what we're missing. We've talked all year, all summer. Who is their dynamic player? Who can you pencil down to score a big goal late? Where is your game breaker?
I would.
Here he is.
Yeah. When we've talked, but he gets every opportunity to succeed here. Every opportunity. I don't. Goldschmidt, sorry. Don't. Rooney, sorry. No. Zari Pospisil, sure. You know what you're going to get out of the backland. Yep. This is the guy I want to see 22 minutes. Show me what you got.
First power play
39 goals. Get to work, Conroy.
Seriously. Yeah. Well, and you got a good runway here. You're going to showcase the hell out of him for everyone's sake, to see what he's got, to see who he looks good with, to see if he's a fit in your room. And then this summer, it's like, hey, bud, have you liked it here? I know you had Calgary on a no trade list, but you probably had it there, having never been to the city. He still hasn't played a home game. I don't know if he's been to the city. I mean, trade happened over what? All-Star break. Met the team in Boston. Yeah. Like, do you like playing in a hockey market? If he does, why wouldn't you say, here's the wheelbarrow? Like, join us long-term. You're our top-line right winger for this.
If you're new to the city, you should check out Calgary's only lab-grown specialist when it comes to diamonds, and that's Vina Nova. Why spend more on mine diamonds when lab-grown diamonds are pristine and in many cases better quality than dirty old mine diamonds? Second level of Stephen Avenue Place is where you'll find Vina Nova, or you can go online at vinanova.com. Reminder, Valentine's Day is coming. So if you're like Kuzmenkov and you've never been to town, just Google Vina Nova or go online at vinanova.com. Again, Valentine's Day is coming up next week, and there's no better spot than Vina Nova.
Is it Kuzmenkov? Is that what he said?
I've got him. It's
Kuzmenkov. You got it.
No, I'm in the Boom's head. It's Kuzmenkov for life.
You do, yeah. It was a tough afterburner the other day. I think he had 3 to 4 slip-ups and was just increasingly infuriated with each of that he dropped. And yeah, it's lightning in a bucket again. That's what it is. He's having a milkshake there. What's he doing?
Yeah, it's this new cup. I don't know what he's got going on.
But to your point, there are guys that just don't fit in certain places. Like Mark Savard was here in Calgary, a guy that's now running the power play. And was not seeing eye to eye with Greg Gilbert. Everyone knew Mark Savard was going to be a great player in the NHL. He arrived as a part of a big return in a trade. I believe he was drafted by the Rangers. Never saw eye to eye with the coach. And it was like, power struggle, you're out of here. Coach has the power. They end up firing Gilbert at the end of the year. But Ruslan Zanulin was the return for Mark Savard, a guy that never crossed the pond to play a single game of pro hockey in North America. What did Mark Savard do? Well, he went over to Boston and put together some incredible years. I'm not saying it's the same thing, but there are certain times a player and a coach don't fit, Rhett. And I wonder if the Canucks, who are having a phenomenal year and sit first in the NHL and play Boston tonight, if a couple of years down the road, they say, man, how did that guy get thrown into this deal?
Well, Vancouver doesn't have to be upset because they got a guy named Lindholm.
Yes.
And he's a hell of a player too. So you have moved a guy that you weren't going to use and got a guy that you will and maybe fits Tocchet's system better. And you're in first place. And there's not a lot to question you on right now. But you still may have given up a huge return for Lindholm. And that's fine. It doesn't mean they lose the deal.
No.
But Kuzmenko, I mean... Let's make it happen. And like you said, to me, there doesn't seem to be a ton of downside here as far as the Flames are concerned.
There's no commitment beyond next season, and it's a free test drive, and it's the type of piece you're missing entirely.
And if you don't keep them, all you want to do is prop him up. Make him look as good as possible. And if he's great and you can and he wants to resign, awesome. If not, you're flipping that guy. You got a 30-goal guy. You're flipping him for sure next year. The downside would be that he's a 10-goal guy and nobody wants him.
Yeah, no, and that's not what it looked like the first game, but it is one game. This is us reacting and responding to the smallest of samples, the one game sample. We'll see what it looks like tonight. He'll line up with, the rest of that newly formed all gas, no brakes line with Huberdeau on the left and Sharon Govich, the former Devil, down the middle. We'll see how long that experiment goes, but so far so good with the 4-1 win in Boston to open up the post All-Star portion of the schedule.
Why did you refer to it as the all gas?
If your vehicle is out of gas, just use DoorDash. It shows up right at your door. Ordering is easy. You just get the DoorDash app, get what you want from where you want, whenever you want it. And it's as simple as that. Restaurants, groceries, pharmacies, bakeries, and more. And for a limited time, our listeners and viewers get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter promo code NATION25. NATION25, again, the promo code to trigger that deal. Dash that for the win with DoorDash.
On the menu tonight, 5 o'clock start in New Jersey for Flames and Devils. Also at 5, we mentioned it, Vancouver at Boston. Top two teams. They're tied for first in the NHL at the All-Star break. Boston lost 2 nights ago. Vancouver victorious, I believe, against Carolina. That 2 screens, Rhett. 2 screens.
That's why I'm at the pub.
There you go. Love it. See, that's going to work for you. You get the Bruins and the Nucks on one side, Flames and Devils on the other. There's your DoorDash. What's on the menu? Nation25, the promo code. Nation25.
If you're looking for some good brewing, there's none better than Origin Brewing and Malting in Strathmore, a family-owned business. 5 generations worth out in Strathmore. They keep the very best barley for their own brewing, and you can check it out. There is the Barn Burner Blonde, the Homegrown Lager, and more. It's Origin Brewing and Malting. Check out their website, originbrewing.ca.
Is there a 3 for the price of 14, or is that done? What do we?
Not over.
You going?
Mark said he was going to send me some beer, but I didn't want to make him do that.
Crossing the border, that's tough. We tried it with the meat. Shoveler tried to get it over for your birthday. It was it's not efficient. Easier to get the beer and the meat.
Also, the day before makes it more difficult.
She'd reach out a little earlier than that. Remember when I thought it was your birthday a week ahead of time?
That's right. Yeah,
that's why.
They say it's your birthday. That Vancouver game would be pretty good, I think.
I think it'd be great. And
weird. I don't hate Vancouver anymore.
I know, and you will, but it reminds me of the end of that.
I hate DC.
So bad for so long. You just start feeling bad for a team. You can't hate. How can you hate someone that's lying in the gutter getting kicked by other people? It's just they're down and out. They're not anymore. They're a wagon. We'll see what they can do. I think they're adding another D for sure. And it was 2011. These 2 teams met in the final, if I'm correct.
Speaking of gutters, there will be gutter balls and strikes and spares coming up on the 29th of February. It is Barn Burner Bowl-orama at Splitsville. Of course, the location, 2916 Fifth Avenue Northeast. It's been 10 years since the last Bowl-orama, and it's time to bring it back in support of our friends at Kids Sport. We'll be rolling and rolling all night long, raising money for the kids. Food provided by Oodle Noodle. Refreshments from our friends at Origin Brewing. Sign up for your team now at nationgear.ca. Again, to sign up for Bowl-orama, nationgear.ca.
Want to do the Pinder Report? I feel like maybe Boom could take a little breather here.
Let's do it.
Jacko, you ready to rock?
Yeah, let's do it.
Pinder Report brought to you by
Village Honda. That's right. Where I believe
the Honda Civic continues to lead the way in value, reliability, and performance. The 2024 Civic received a 10 out of 10 in Car and Driver's comprehensive vehicle testing. The Civic Type R and Civic SI ranked number 1 and number 2, respectively, in the Sport Compact category. Located in the Northwest Auto Mall and online at villagehonda.com, Village Honda, your dealership for life, presents the Pinder Report.
All right, Retro, let's start with some news. The Calgary Flames were busy yesterday getting pen to paper. It's Artie Pospisil. Would you look at this, Retro? He's been excellent. One of the big surprises and positive storylines of the season, the emergence of Marty Pospisil as an NHLer. You miss him when he's not there. When he is in there, you can't help but notice him. He's in the fold for another 2 years at the very reasonable bargain bin price of $1 million per season, Rhett. This
nice.
a win.
Absolutely.
And so why would Marty Possible sign for a mere $1 million? Well, if they qualified him, it's a two-way deal. He's an RFA. So instead, you take the one-way deal. You get 2 years to establish yourself as an NHLer. And league minimum this year, as Pike notes. Here's a good one from our boy Jimmy Johns. Flames record with Marty Pospisil in the lineup, Rhett, 20, 10, and 4. What? Without him, 3, 12, and 1. That is stark. And it was funny. They had that 1-4 stretch to close out the homestand before the All-Star break. You missed him. He just, where'd he go? And I think it
noticeable.
Was the second game of the homestand. He gets hurt against Toronto, if I'm correct. Then it was Edmonton. But where's the pace? Where's the jump? We need the booster cables for this group. They're flat. Oh, you know what it is? There's no Pospisil. Sure enough, back in the fold in Boston. And what do you see? A team flying out of the gates with piss and vinegar. He's not all of that, but I think he's a big part of it.
You can't look at that, whatever. Is that a tweet? Is it still a tweet?
I think it's now technically a post, but if you call it a tweet, we all know what you're saying.
Yeah. Look at the tweet. It shows you the impact he has. Again, yeah, it won't be all on Pospisil. I don't think he's Mario Lemieux by any stretch, but he's an energy guy that has an influence on how the rest of the team plays.
As for
and
their
$1 million, thank you very much. Yes.
Yep, sure.
Where's our downside?
Yeah, for the Flames, none. I mean, The only thing you could say is maybe you could have locked him up on a 5x2 or something. But I mean, look, they got tons of cap space. You don't need to try to save a nickel in a few years so much as if he does the Walker Doer where he looked great this year and he's not next year, all of that money's entirely able to be buried in the American League with no cap hits. So I see this making sense for both sides. We meet again in 2 years. And at that point, you'll have an even better idea of what the floor and ceiling are for this guy. Also, it's a guy that's had some injury issues, so I could understand not committing for monster term, trying to lock him in. Let's see how healthy he can be in the NHL playing against the best in the world. Tonight, it's the Devils. Hughes is back. We told you that. Amanda Stein, beat reporter out in Newark, gets this quote, "I'm excited to be back out there." That's Jack Hughes. So he returns to the lineup and will be playing alongside former Flame Tyler Toffoli, who's on his left side, and Swedish youngster Alexander Holtz on the right. Palat, Hischier, and Bratt, another one of their top 9. And the other line in there is Timo Meier, who arrived via trade last year from San Jose, Eric Holla, and Dawson Mercer. It's a good offensive team. They're missing Dougie Hamilton. They're missing Jonas Siegenthaler. They're missing Brendan Smith on the back end. That's 3 regulars. They're also missing Cal Foote, who's been non-rostered as part of the charges he's facing with the 2018 World Junior team. Thin on the back end, not getting saves, and a great forward group, Rhett, is how we describe the group.
Are you missing out on quality sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's time to visit Outdoor Dental. Dr. J. Patel and the Soleil Laser. They use it for their dental procedures, of course, but now you can use it on your soft palate. It tightens the soft palate and thus helps you with your sleep apnea and getting more sleep, better quality sleep. More details are available online. Outdoor.dental is the website. Visit Dr. J and have more quality sleep, and those around you will be happier as well. Outdoor.dental, leaving a healthy footprint on your smile and on your life.
There you go. 800th game of his career for Jonathan Huberdeau tonight, by the way. 800.
Well, good for him.
You're 2.5 seasons away from a nice silver stick.
I'm still surprised the jersey is sitting this far out of a playoff spot.
I know. It's weird. It'll be Vitek Vanacek in that tonight against Jacob Markstrom. They've also had Akira Schmid taking some cuts in net. Nico Dawes has been in there. It's also a team that gets brought up anytime you talk about contenders or playoff teams needing goalies.
I feel like something's got to happen. I don't know what Tommy Shorty's waiting for. Played with him in Florida. Called him Shorty.
We saw yesterday, it was Jason Demers pitching, go get Noah Hannafin. Go do it. Go get it. We'll see if that comes to be. Moving along, let's do this. Bad news for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Potentially good news for the Flames. You hate to, take any pleasure in someone else's misfortune, but Sergachev stretchered off last night and went to Instagram to pour out his heart, talking about how could this happen to me again, That said, says he's going to come back stronger. It sounds like this is not a short-term injury for a guy that's climbed up the Tampa depth chart, Rhett, and is a crucial piece for this Lightning team. Are they in the market for a Noah Hannafin or a Chris Tanev all of a sudden?
It looks like they are. So let's get the phones going here, Conroy. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. We talked Calder odds yesterday. Connor Bedard not playing, making a huge impact on the odds. Here's why. There it is. 11 goals in their last 11 games for the Hawks. Oh, my God. Awful.
It's not good.
How is he even putting up points with this team? They lost last night to Minnesota. Get back. Come back. Or don't. Keep getting that
There's
draft
so
pick
many
higher, I
people
suppose.
that are pissed off about buying Blackhawks tickets when they come to town and there's
What
no
did you
Bedard.
expect? Yeah, it's year one.
Unbelievable.
Don't know if you know this, but I believe in some Scandinavian countries, they will index your ticket to how much money you make. So if you are speeding, maybe, and you make minimum wage, you pay X. And if you're a pro athlete, you pay more. Kasperi Kapanen did a no-no. He had a drunk driving charge in Finland. That comes out to $117,000 American, Rhett.
Yeah,
Not a good idea ever. And then on top of that, big bill.
You know what? I guarantee you, Kasperi has learned his lesson.
Yes, unlike maybe a $5,000 slash the NHL could give him, right? A fine.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, here's your slate. I believe 5 games we've got.
If you've been caught speeding and need some legal help, go online to McLeod-Law.com. McLeod Law, they're proud of their Calgary roots. It's a big part of their long-standing client relationships. They understand our city, the people in it, and the way things work. Like the communities that they serve, the McLeod Law team is varied and diverse and share a commitment to making a positive impact on Calgary. McLeod-Law.com.
Well, keep moving. Raptors made a trade. Retro, you're part of the North. Guess who else is coming back home? Kelly Olynyk, the monster Canadian center. Back to the Raptors. Big deal with the Jazz.
Where's Kelly Olynyk from then?
Canada. Yeah, he's from
Canada. Okay.
Canada City, the capital of
good
Canada.
Old
Canada.
Canada.
Got some dumb shit for you, Rhett. Before we get to our guest, I believe Darren Dreger is going to join us today. Let's start with the shoveler. She was having a tough go. It must have been snowy out in Buffalo recently. I don't know how old this video is. Almost done the driveway. Let's check it out. It looks like it's been packed for a few days. Really have to dig at this snow here, Rhett. Wow. At least you got out there to help her. Is she all right?
She bounced right back. All that fresh snow. She woke up. She got up happier than she was before it happened.
We got a great jersey in the USHL. You know these third jerseys? Let's have some fun with some jerseys. What was it? The Lake Diefenbaker.
Still my favorite.
Unbelievable. We got some competition now because I want you to feast your eyes on the Sioux Falls Fighting Wiener Dogs. Oh, baby. That's a winner.
Now, wait. Now, these are just a joke, right?
I mean, weren't the Lake Diefenbaker something sharks? Weren't they a joke
sharks.
too?
The Slough Sharks, Ryan. It was the Slough Sharks.
Yeah, Slough Sharks. And look, they got a little SPCA sort of thing in the raisin. It's like it's a charity jersey. I love it. Good work.
Totally cool.
Fighting Wiener Dogs. Waste Management's underway in Phoenix. We told you this is where party meets golf. Not often combined. Here's proof. This is the practice round yesterday.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. You be you. It's got the beer in hand, and yeah. Do you think that that's the product of a lost fantasy football bet, or?
I don't know what it is, but we need somebody to be out there holding his train a little bit there, dragging.
It is getting muddy.
That's got to be fantasy football, right?
It's gotta be.
You like cliff jumping, Rhett?
No.
Just none at all, or just once it gets a little too high?
There's heights involved, and I don't know if I like heights. I jumped off a bridge in South Africa. After I lived, Cool. Prior to the jump, not good. Because your body knows.
Yeah, your body's like, this isn't a good idea, bud.
Hey, dude.
Your brain, no. Let's have a look. I think this person's done cliff jumping too.
Oh. That's not really jumping.
Scab up your shins. No good, Rhett.
Ouch.
Now, when were you in the tropics last? Because we got this video of you walking the beach. Was this Florida? What was
a year
this?
ago, last year, about this time.
Year ago. Okay. Now, this is a weird little walk you got, but you got to get your steps in. You got to get your cardio, right?
It's the sand. It's hot.
It's a little trot there. But then look at this move. And I'm wondering, what are you doing here? What is going on? Wait a minute.
What?
Rhett.
What?
You dirty dog.
Motivate. You got to get motivated. You got to be motivated. If you're going to be out there, you got to be motivated.
Now, you and the shoveler had a ski trip last winter, I remember.
Oh, she loves the hills.
She really does. Let's go to some of the highlights, because the thing is there's these terrain parks, and that's not for just normal gliding around. That's for when you're doing tricks and stuff. You got to be head on a swivel. This is our first one. Oh,
it looks like that person might be out.
It does look like straight tombstone.
The arms aren't coming up.
And then I believe it's later in the day. Light's a little flatter. Let's have a look at the second one.
Oh my God, bro! What the fuck are you doing? Oh my fucking God! Oh my God, bro! What the fuck are you doing?
Careful out there, Rhett. Careful.
Now, who's at fault?
That's a terrain park. You don't go skiing underneath a huge 20-foot jump. Get the bleep out of the way. Hence the other boarders yelling, "What are you doing?" You like darts? I'm starting to get really into darts. These tournaments are unbelievable. They got like 10,000 people cheering, hammering huge pitchers of beer, and the darts players are good. Good sellies, good outfits, tattoos, haircuts.
Wants them all. Gets them all. Watch a leg of darts from the legends.
And then he opens the trap door. He's got a little trap door.
I'm gonna need
That's his celly. Pop people out. Look at this guy. What a top. That's a party outfit right there.
I need that shirt.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I like darts more than pole vault. Here's why. You get nice and high. But coming down's the hard part.
There you go. There you go.
So he does get credit for clearing that height, but
yeah, how's this next one?
Oh,
and it happens too often.
Yeah, it's a high risk event.
Terrible.
I don't know if we can bring Dean back or not. I don't need a read, but this is one of his pals that he's a big fan of on Instagram. It's just discussing the price of water. It's quite interesting.
Hey, cunts. So a bottle of water will cost you 50 cents at the supermarket, $2 at the gym, $3 at the fucking movies, or $6 on a fucking plane. Cunts. It's the same fucking bottle of water. Same fucking water, nothing's fucking changed. The only thing that's changed its value is its fucking location, cunts. So next time you're feeling you've got no fucking self-worth, maybe you need to change your location, cunts. No, cunts, love you.
That's your boy, Dean.
That friggin' guy. Sorry, guys, I was having some technical issues. Did we start the show?
No, we're good. Yeah, actually, we got a lot of reads done already.
Did we get
a
some
lot of bills? We're good.
Okay.
We're good. And I'm glad you're back, because I found an old classic from the old show. There's two items left in the Pinder Report. They are both Australia, and this is the great. What?
Quite funny. I was in bed sleeping at 2 o'clock this morning. My wife comes in and says, "Oh, the shop's been, someone ran into the shop." And I said, "Oh, what?" So I jumped out of bed and all I had was my undies on, and I've walked out the front and I've seen the car smashed, and I've seen the bloke walking back to the car. And so I've walked outside and I said, oh, what are you doing, mate? Like, you can't be leaving the scene. And he goes, don't be a hero, mate. And I said, I'm not trying to be a hero, but the police are coming. And he just decided he'd scoot up the road. And I just said, nah, it's not going on like that, mate. So I jumped in my car and I started chasing him up the road. And then he went down a side street and then the police were coming. And I flashed them and set them off in the direction of him. But, mate, all I had was me jocks on. I was chasing him up the street and I'm just like, mate, like...
Because you told me that this is your mate's shop and you didn't want him to get away.
Yeah, no. Well, me mate's mum's had this shop for like 40 odd years, and look at it. Look at it. Whoa.
It's a mess, isn't it?
Beyond a mess. Like, words can't explain how it is, mate. Like.
Now, Daniel, you managed to put some pants on in the meantime. It's good to hear. Do you feel like a hero?
Not really. It's just something you got to do for the community, mate. It's like you look after your mates and your mates will always look after you.
There you go. Good attitude. There you go, guys. Daniel, quite the Australian.
Daniel, quite the Australian.
Put some pants on. You know, it's what you do.
We heard that maybe 1,000 times over the last decade. We finally get to see it.
It's nice to have the other side now, to have the visual to go with the audio.
I like when they cut back to the studio and the anchor is like, who is this man? This bogan from the sticks.
God, remind me to get this other video because I saw it. I got to grab this video and I forgot. It's there's Aussies and kangaroos. It's right in our wheelhouse. So
and luckily we do have more Australian content. I don't know if it's bike lane good, but this is quite good.
Fuck! There's a fucking big polar bear, cunt. Duck for cover. He's gone in, grabbed my arm, cunt. Open my eyes. Holy fuck, cunt. My arm's still attached to my body, and I'm fucking hitting the double black diamonds on the slopes, cunt. Next thing you know, I'm at the fucking snow bar, having a brewski. Bang, bang, bootski, cunt. Whoa!
Boy, it's just free willy with the C-bombs. Hey, they just have no filter at all. There's
like
no...
I was saying back in the first month of the show, it's not a big deal. You have to just think about the context of where you are in the world. Not a bad word.
I'm trying to bring in 4-day work weeks, and Pinder's trying to infiltrate our vocabulary with C-bombs.
He's trying to kind of desensitize us to C-bombs.
It's working.
I don't know that it is.
I'm not convinced.
This is the only place I hear them.
It was a 10 out of 10.
I'm not seeing them anywhere else but on our
I think
show.
it's down to like 8.5 on the scale of offensive-ness now.
It's working.
We've shaved off 1.5.
If I leave this room right now and start dropping them, I'm probably not spending the night here.
The only place I hear them is between 10 and noon Mountain on YouTube. That's the only place I'm
Once
hearing people
we get
use
you to Australia, you will be won over. It's just a wonderful word. And that's how we got Aussie Brad to begin with. He had my back. He said, you know what? Pinder's right. There's all kinds of C-bombs out there. It's a great word.
I'm not questioning whether it's more appropriately used there or willingly used. Here's the thing. Psst. We're not in Australia here.
It's the internet team. We're everywhere. Come on.
It's Calgary.
I identify as Australian. My kids are half Australian.
Okay, then we'll have to accommodate that, I guess. I won't get canceled.
That is it for your Pinder Report on a game day Thursday. Dino.
Village Honda. Huge selection of used vehicles, all makes, all models, all budgets. Over 90 units on site, access to more than 500 more inside the dealership group. It's why Village Honda is and should be your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary. Worth the trip. Located in the Northwest Automall, as I say, and you can check them out online, villagehonda.com. But even better, go by. Go see them. Have a cup of coffee. Say hi to Anthony, Tanya, everybody up there. And then buy a couple Civics.
Couple. Yeah. Don't hog them all. But yeah. If you need to, use to.
Also a great Valentine's gift.
Oh, get one of those big bows on there. Big bows. We still got
a guest today or no? What's their timing?
Yeah, bud. Oh, yeah, bud. We got Dregs coming up in about 10, 15 minutes, 12 minutes.
Perfect.
He'll
Very good.
slide in. He'll slide in for us.
Yeah.
What's been happening? I had some my internet was on the fritz.
Yeah, I was cutting in and out there. It's weird. We had you and then we lost you.
Yeah.
We had you, lost you again.
Like lane.
Yeah.
I do have a construction update. I'll send that over to Jack. I know you're curious.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have it yet. So just give me a moment here, if you don't mind.
Why do you make Jack go in there to do all that? Like, I get why you go in there.
Well,
it's
Dean,
like
it's the
6
sign
minutes
of
from your
a
house.
functional economy, which is that those who are better at things do those things. You don't have the butcher making shoes. You don't have the shoemaker cutting meat. Everyone's
Okay.
good at certain things.
Delicious either
Yeah.
way.
Candlestick
Don't mix those
Yeah.
up. But either way, yeah.
The butcher, the baker. Is that what it was? Butcher
Candlestick
and baker.
maker?
Yeah. Candlesticks make a good gift.
Yeah. Valentine's Day. You all right there?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Good. Great.
I'm all right.
You
It's
wanna
funny
do Ask
watching
Rhett?
the chat while this was all going on.
Oh.
While I was sitting and watching the show.
A lot of
There's
theories
some-
out there. Yeah.
There's some venom. There's a lot of angry people in the chat. Guys, can't we just get along? Why is he doing this? Is he doing this because Bell shut down a bunch of radio stations? Why is this guy such a C-bomb? I hate that fat fucker. See, I'm telling you why. This, you know what? It's true. They hate each other. I could tell. I hate you. Oh yeah. Well, I hate your wife. Well, my wife hates your kids.
Jeez.
Get fellas. It's a game day. Get your helmets on.
That's right.
So if you were looking for it, just at it. So it's the Devils tonight, 5 o'clock start, right? 5 o'clock Mountain. This will not be a D Simone revenge game, I don't think. It looks like
He
he's
looks like he's odd man out. It looks like
son of a bitch.
Hataka and Miller are your third pair.
Hataka! Ho ho! Hattori Hanzo.
Whoa, with the
Devils 6-6-1 since January 1st. Their goaltenders both are under 900 save percentage. They are what, 5 back of a wild card and in their division. It's no bueno for the Devils. Your Shorty, is that what you call them? Little short stuff. He's got to get
Shorty.
his,
I think it's 'cause he scored shorthanded goals.
Get to work, Shorty.
They won too the Tuesday night as well. I think they came back to beat the Avs, or they had a big lead. Avs stormed back. They ended up winning it, so they'll be feeling better. But it's like time to get on a run here. If this Devils team wants to do anything like last year, remember they were down 2-0 to the Rangers before storming back and winning that series in dramatic fashion. And everyone's sexy pick is, oh, they were young and now they're just a year better. And they went at it to Foley, and Schmid came in the playoffs and looked like a goalie. Well, like Hamilton hurt, Siegenthaler hurt, Brendan Smith hurt. 2 players on the 2018 team taken off the roster as they're going through charges. Like, they're missing bodies, Dean. Missing bodies.
Sorry, now I'm reading the chat again. I'm just gonna. This one guy was crushing me. What's wrong with this? This guy's such an asshole. This guy's such a baby. Here's the and I'll throw it up. Just
Yeah.
Oh well, this is funny now. The fact he was reading the chat. Oh, okay, I get it now. This is funny. I'm having a bad day. I took it out on Boom.
You know what, Brendan? It's nice of you to man up and just acknowledge.
Brendan,
you're having
and then it's you got Big D. He's like, "Are you new to this, Brendan? Like this is the shtick, dude. It was
Have
it
you,
was a bit. We all knew this.
So welcome to the show,
Just
Brendan.
be nice
You're
to
new.
each other in the chat. Be nice to each other in public.
Now, class, we have a new schoolmate here. It's Brendan. Now, everyone be
Having
nice
a bad day.
Brendan.
Took it out on Boom. Hey, Brendan, I hope this turns your day
It's
around.
all right.
I hope your day turns around because of this. Sorry, folks, for my earlier input. Now he feels shame.
No.
Brendan
You
feels
gotta
bad.
get
Don't feel
shit
bad.
off your chest. You can't carry that inside all the time. You gotta let it out.
I do like, hey, look, he's not going to be living any guilt. He's acknowledged it. He's
Yeah,
owned it.
that's
We
right.
can move on. We can move on.
See,
and
now,
have a good day.
everybody's, hey, Brendan, hey, they're gonna get Brendan on the. Brendan's day is turned right around.
New friends, just like that.
That's what this show's all about, people. C bombs and turning people's moods around. That's what we do. I like Barn Burner. They talk about the Flames, and I get to hear the word cunt a lot.
See, you're just casually
said
dropping
it. I
it.
don't
You
know if I've
never
ever heard
done
you
that
say
before.
it.
I've never said it.
I
You
know.
just did
Yeah.
twice. See, I'm wearing you down.
You're not wearing me down.
You just said it twice.
Wearing
in
me
10
out.
seconds.
Jeez. We got 9 minutes or so until
Yeah.
what? Because Dregs texted me. I'm just deciding, should we do Ask Rhett now?
Yeah, let's go.
9 minutes.
Too short?
It might be.
You while you were having spotty internet, we were sort of talking about the way too early overreaction to Andrei Kuzmenko's debut, which we've
it's
done
okay to be
yesterday and we did on the
excited.
post-game show. But
You know what?
Boy, it's fun to be excited and have nice things.
I'm with
Potential.
Rhett. I'm with you. Oh, don't get excited. What are you so excited? It was one period. Is there enough to feel shitty about in life and in the world?
There sure is, Dean.
So this guy comes in and scores, and kind of did. Somebody had said, "Is that like a Pinder high kick that he does in his celebration?" He kind of does a little kick thing there. It's like, has he got a Pinder influence there?
Lifting up the leg.
There again, C-bombs. Kuzmenkov is influenced by the show. Whatever it takes. Go ahead and feel good about it.
Great flow, big smile, laughing
What a
and giggling.
game. They went and beat Boston. Kuzmenko looked good, scored a goal. I feel good. Well, that's kind of what sports is about. Is it okay to enjoy it?
Yeah, but you're getting ahead of yourself. It's just one game.
Yeah, I'm not saying, hey, listen, this Connor Zary, it's been a good couple months. I'm not saying, is he going to be a star?
Enjoy it, folks.
All these rules that people have for you.
This is what we wanted a year ago. We're like, how are they still running out Lewis and Lucic and like Nick sleeping Richie? What are we doing here, Daryl?
Good to see Big Nick get a goal there, eh? Big Nick.
Big Nick, the season's on the line. We'll put him in a shootout. What are we doing here?
Troy Stetcher look good. Yeah, you can make up.
He's got cut in Finland. That guy was shooting for you last year. What the hell's going on? Daryl would have loved Pospisil. Trust the kids, Daryl.
How cute, because you played it, I guess it was yesterday. How cute was his little post-game interview thing?
Phenomenal.
Well, I'm very tired, and I try to score goal, and on the beeper, we try to do this. Have fun.
Yeah.
Just have some fun with it.
Clean boy.
He's a clean boy.
Smiling, great hair.
Clean sheets.
Yep.
Clean sheets.
Wash your own damn sheets.
Yeah, I don't know where I would have concerns if I were the Devils or their fans.
Oh, just based on where they are?
Based on where they are, and I don't they've get Jesper Bratt 6 points in 5 games. They have some guys playing well. And you mentioned Dougie Hamilton. He's not coming back. That's a huge loss.
Huge injury. And
the goaltending it doesn't really show any signs. I don't think there's any reason to think that this is a bad stretch for them. I just don't think they can.
It was more likely a good stretch for them in the playoffs last year.
Yes.
Yeah, because Schmid came out of nowhere. And even Vitek Vanacek, who was great in the regular season before he kind of imploded. That's his first real good NHL season. Washington was like, take him. We don't need him. And interestingly, Samsonov did the same thing in Toronto last year coming from Washington. That was their tandem the year before. It was like, how's this happening? Like, really, really odd. And again, goaltending does this, but I think to your point, Dean, I don't know that they have their future number one of those guys. Maybe it's Schmid and Dawes. They're both quite young, but
goaltending does this, but you can't absorb 890, 880 save.
No. And you know what? We saw it here last year. It's just like you can outwork a team, outchance a team, outplay a team, outshoot them 30-12. If you're going to have 880 goaltending, it's just going to undo everything.
6-1 since January 1st. Now for tonight, our boy Tyler Toffoli, he's still scoring. He missed the last game because he was sick against Colorado. Prior to that,
scores touch, would you say?
5 goals in 4 games prior to the break.
Hattie.
Yeah, had the Hattie in there. So I don't know. As far as the Flames, are we worried about results? Does it matter if they win or lose this game tonight?
No, I think you're more excited to see what that all gas no brakes line looks like.
I still don't get this all gas no brakes thing. Sorry, I gotta pump the brakes here because I'm trying to understand. Look, what is this?
It's just like flooring it, selling out for offense, and not really giving a shit about the rest. And that doesn't mean they're not trying, but I mean, you have their 3 most talented players who might be 3 of their weakest defensive forwards all playing together, and that's fine. You can do that with lines, but it's not going to be boring. This is going to be a high event line.
It's been a saying. Bob Sala was using it on Hard Knocks. I think Ryan maybe saw it on when the New York Jets. It was there at the end of their team meetings. He'd go, all gas, and they would say no brakes. It's kind of a thing. So.
Well, and there's a guy that is on Instagram that goes by that handle. He made a movie and he went around to America and did crazy interviews, and he was all gas, no brakes guy. I don't know. It's just we
are hearing it a lot on this show in the last.
I'm pushing hard. I really
days. You really are. Yeah.
Yeah. More than the C-bomb even.
It's
almost
not subtle.
No. But hey, look, that line's fun.
Do you want? Do we have to? Because
we're. Want me to call Conroy?
No, it's
Do
more
we
of a
need to start
fan-based
using
thing.
it too
You
to
know
try
what?
and
And now I
ushers.
understand
We have
why he wasn't answering me yesterday. I'm trying to get in touch with the deadbeat, and apparently he's signing deals and shit. so-
Conroy, yeah.
Connie.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got that Pospisil extension done. Lovely bit of work.
I send him a waiting cut in here back too. So
Oh, weird. The FedEx truck's back.
Let's see. Prove it. This is amazing.
It's right there.
It's be delivery time.
I just muted my microphone because I did something. Guess what it was?
All gas?
No brakes. Let's do our Betway bets while we're waiting. You want to do some Betway bets?
Let's
get
do
them
it.
in.
We're
Get them in. Get them on. Get them on.
Gotta get
I
hot
heard you.
again.
Even though I was like Brent. I was lurking and skulking in the background in the chat, and I heard you say something about Kuzmenko and the anytime goal or whatever.
Till
Well,
they
if you
change this
go-
number.
If you go to your Betway app on your phone, get the Betway app, play along in game, before game, whatever you. I mean, it's Betway. We got a football game coming up this weekend. If you haven't already, get it on your phone. Go to the app store. Go to your whatever you got to do there and get it on your phone. Get a little deposit in there. Get her started, and be ready for a big weekend. Let's take a look at our Betway bets. Devils, Flames. Oh, we're on this. We're in the same hymn book, buddy.
Whoa.
Hasn't changed. Anytime goal again for Kuzmenko. Jack Christ.
I just saw it now. That's
You're not helping.
Don't say it. What do you got there, Dean? Read it, please. A lot of work into these graphics.
Kuzmenkov anytime goal plus 225. Don't laugh, Jack. I heard you laugh. It's not funny.
Dean's lying. He loves an off mic laugh.
He died. Yeah, don't step on the off mic laugh. Kuzmenko again, anytime goal. It took less than 5 minutes the other night. Let's go. 225. And why not? Let's go. He's due. Yegor Sharangovich, first goal scorer of the night, plus 1,000.
10-1.
Let's go, Yegor.
Old squad. Yes.
Let's go. Hey,
Yeah, this is the night to do it. Really,
if I had one of the big fat contracts, I'd be putting the money on the board for Sharangovich tonight.
Yes,
So you know
of
what,
course.
Yegor? We're getting you this win, and we're getting you a goal tonight, boys. Hey, all gas, no brakes.
Let's
That's
go.
That's what I'd be
Let's
saying in the
go.
room if I were in the room.
Yes.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you on the Kuzmenko anytime goal plus 225. This is just simple math. If he's going to look anything like a 40-goal guy like he was as a rookie, that number's way too big. And Connor Zary looking sharp again in that Boston game with that hard cut to the net. A measly point pays plus 125. Those are my Betway bets of the day.
You know what? Now we got Pike. You're not helping.
Oh, no.
Jack, not helping.
All the ovs. Look at all the ovs.
Freaking Krutov, Larionov, Makarov, Kuzma, Pike. Don't make me block you from the chat.
We got to explain this to our guest. He's not going to get what's happening here.
Yeah, there's great Kuzmenko and great, perfect.
Look at the avatar. What a photo.
Bunch of bastards.
Text again.
You're all a bunch of bastards. Let's go to our insider hotline. It's a presentation of TELUS. You can enter to win one of 6 monthly prizes, including tickets to Calgary hockey games, awesome tech like AirPods, Apple Watches, and more. No purchase necessary. All you need to do, fill out a quick survey to enter for your chance to win. Go online, TELUS.com/Flames contest. Yeah, we can bring Darren Dreger into the stupid Warner.
Yes.
Yeah, you heard me. Stupid Warner. When it was even before, when the speculation was, Vancouver, if there's a Vancouver deal for Lindholm, this Kuzmenko character, yes. And Warner being up to speed on his Vancouver depth forwards. This Kuzmenkov guy is Kuzmenkov. So then he's just kept rolling with it. I'm doing the post game the other night. Now I'm saying Kuzmenkov. He's got right into my medulla oblongata, it's buried in there. This prick. So
I like it. I like it.
I don't. I hate him. I hate him a lot with all my heart. He's
the new Don Cherry. Just make up names. Just
right.
add vowels.
Yeah, you're right. Very
Piesca.
Very grapes oriented. Let's get your thoughts on that since we've last talked, right? We got the Lindholm deal. It's chipping away. There goes the Dorov, and then Lindholm is gone. What do you make of this deal? And then again, we were saying earlier in the show, people like, hey, it was one game, it's one period. Whatever. screw that. Go ahead, Kuzmenko. Have some fun. If you're a Flames fan, dream on the future. Dream on what else could happen if there's a Tanev and Hanifin deal. 5 minutes in, Kuzmenko scores, and Flame fans are crossing their fingers. They could see more of that.
Yeah, and maybe you will, right? I think that as soon as we saw this guy break into the National Hockey League, he proved that he was a legit NHL forward. And, his agent, Dan Milstein, often overpromises. We know this. There wouldn't be many agents that don't. But I remember having conversations with Milstein about Kuzmenkov.
See it? Oh, geez. Sorry, Dregs.
Yeah, before he arrived on the NHL scene. And he openly talked about how this guy was so NHL ready. And in terms of the free agent players available, and they're available every single year, this guy was legit. Didn't need guys like me to kind of prop him up so that there'd be a market developed in the NHL. There were a number of teams that were keenly interested. So no harm, no foul here for the Calgary Flames. Nothing but opportunity for Kuzmenko. And it probably stings a little bit that relatively early in your NHL career, you get traded. And in this case, to a non-playoff team. Let's see what happens with the Calgary Flames. But I think Conroy did okay in this deal. I haven't heard your guys' analysis of this. We're going to find out what these prospects are all about. I kind of kicked around with other hockey operations departments around the NHL. They kind of waver between B and C level prospects. But until these kids actually get a crack and opportunity at playing in the National Hockey League, how can you be sure? So from a position of quantity, I think Calgary got more than enough for Lindholm.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of good cuts, Dregs, when you think about, they take a swing on talent. And, the OHL defenseman's got warts, but it's a hell of a season he's having. There's a nice swing. A first rounder, we'll see where it ends up. It might be pick 32. Cooper's been quite good.
Yeah.
You get another swing there. Kuzmenko, a guy that nearly has 40 as a rookie, there's another swing on some high-end skill.
For sure.
And if the Canucks want to have a run, that fourth becomes a third. All of a sudden, you're talking about 5 lottery tickets, so to speak, for 30-plus games of Lindholm.
Yeah. And look, you can always flip those assets if the need arises. We're still several days outside of the March 8th trade deadline. Then you've got the upcoming draft, and then you've got an off season. It's endless what Conroy might be able to do with the assets that he's collecting here.
We continue to spin around, and I guess we're going to do this either until Hanifin is re-signed or traded, or I can't imagine they get past the deadline and he's still a Flame without a new contract. But they're on the road trip. They're in Boston 2 days ago. That's hometown. You can't help but wonder if maybe Hanifin spends some time with mom and dad, has some heart-to-heart conversations, because and Craig Conroy's on this trip, that he's looking for answers. I guess it's going to depend, without knowing what the offers are or might be. What's your sense on if you're in the Craig Conroy spot? What are you doing there? What's in your best interest and the team's best interest over the next 5 to 8 years moving forward when it comes to
I'd be careful in waiting a whole lot longer, right? Because as we saw last night, terrible circumstance between the Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning with Sergachev going down in a heap. That stuff can happen. Blink of an eye, poof. Now the asset is gone and you've got absolutely nothing. So if I'm Craig Conroy, I'm picking up the phone. I'm calling Pat Brisson. I'm like, it's Thursday. We need an answer within the next 2-3 days, whatever that is, right? I suspect that Conroy already knows that Hanifin isn't going to extend in Calgary. But if he doesn't know that with certainty, then he needs to know that. I like the asset in Noah Hanifin. I do. I think it'd be in the best interest of the Calgary Flames to extend him. But if he's wishy-washy on it, which he's been for a number of months now, call it. Just call it and say, enough. He knows what the trade market is for Noah Hanifin.
Yeah.
He knows the list of teams. He knows what he can get. Maybe he can sweeten it when you get down to the hard negotiating of closing on that deal in some capacity. But all of a sudden, it's going to be early March.
Right.
And you're going to be up against it. There's no reason for that. So I suspect that it happens soon.
How much better an offer, excuse me, is he going to get from Julien Brisebois than he did yesterday? I mean, Tampa already had a need to defense before this, or does now Tampa look around and say, maybe it's a year we punt and not move a first?
I mean, it's a good question. They haven't done that in recent history, have they?
No.
Because, as long as they can relatively stay healthy, Vasilevsky lives for the playoffs. Nikita Kucherov, for me, never gets enough attention media-wise. I mean, all this guy does is put up points. I don't care what he did or he didn't do at the All-Star. That doesn't matter to me. Stamkos, he's got, something to prove, just, again, contractually. Go down the list of all the assets that they have. That's a dangerous team when the playoffs roll around. And Brisebois has repeatedly showed us, as you close in on the trade deadline, that he's in it to win it, plain and simple. He's not worrying about what a first-round draft pick is going to be for 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they're going to punt. And Ryan, your point is well made. I know that Tampa Bay was one of at least 4 teams circling around Sean Walker in Philadelphia prior to last night's injury. And I look at New Jersey, I look at Toronto, and this one might surprise you guys. The Edmonton Oilers expressing interest in Sean Walker. I mean, most of us think that the Oilers are more likely to add a forward, but I think I know they have interest in Sean Walker, and I've been told that they've got some interest in Chris Tanev. I don't know how you'd pull that off between Calgary and Edmonton, but the Flames haven't had trouble trading with the Vancouver Canucks in Zadorov and more recently Lindholm. So pay up. If they decide internally in Edmonton that the need is more on the back end than it is a winger to play with Leon Draisaitl, then all right, put your cards on the table, Kenny Hall, and let's see what you have to offer.
Retro, it feels like Tanev would be a great fit in Edmonton. You've got that. I mean, what you see, what
Ekholm.
You see what Ekholm has done for Bouchard up there. Now, if you're moving away from Cece or whatever, I mean, what if he could? Yeah, what if Tanev could do for a guy like Darnell Nurse? Right? He'd be a great fit up there.
What is a better asset for the Oilers, a defenseman or a forward?
Yeah. Phil Broberg is playing 25 minutes a night in the American Hockey League. They believe he's going to be a top 4 defenseman in the NHL. The Oilers as an organization. Huh? Yeah.
It's getting late.
It's getting late.
Guys that become top 4 guys are most often already there at his age. That's the problem. The other problem was there's a bit of a reach in the draft, and they passed on Caulfield and Boldy and Zegras.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I guess what I'm saying is, if you're trying to make a deal for a Tanev or a Sean Walker, it might get costly beyond a first-round draft pick. But you've got to view that as a distinct need. And I think that's where the debate is happening internally in Edmonton, as I've identified. I mean, what if all of a sudden, leading up to March 8th, Kyle Dubas puts Jake Gensel legitimately in play? Not just speculatively, as we all continue to chew on, because he's a sexy name. Can we? I could see Jake Gensel fitting in Edmonton. I could see him fitting a lot of top contending teams. Like, come on, what are we actually thinking about here? Tarasenko's another name, but he's not in the category of Jake Gensel for me. So I think that's the challenge. And then it's dollar in, dollar out if you're a cap team like the Oilers. So it's Cece, it's Kulak. It's maybe one of their younger forwards that has to go out just to make the money work on top of that.
Question for you, and it's kind of the way I see it, that if conventional wisdom would say the longer you wait, the closer you get to the deadline, the better the offers are going to be. But I wonder how we saw things shake down with Elias Lindholm. Craig Conroy got an offer and called the other team, said, listen, it's cut bait time. When you have 2 of the top guys on the market, are you allowed to dictate the timeline a little bit more? If you get that, if you say we're moving Tanev now, and you call those teams, say we're not waiting, so let's not dance and be cute about it. Yes. What's your best offer? Because we're doing this by Monday. I feel like Craig Conroy could kind of circumvent that whole wait for the bidding process to begin.
Happens all the time. And teams that are in the negotiation get a little pissy because, I don't think Conroy would have shopped the Vancouver offer as an example. But I know that there was considerable conversation with the New York Rangers, and the New York Rangers made an offer on Lindholm. But Calgary already had the Vancouver deal, most of the elements of it parked, right?
Yeah.
And the Rangers didn't want to include a first-round draft pick. So automatically, if you're the Flames, you push away and say, all right, well, we're not getting any better than this. So let's just pull the trigger. That happens all the time, but I think that's good business. But where teams do get upset is when you legitimately chop the offer and say, all right, well, Vancouver's in, and here's what we've got from Vancouver. So here's what we need from you. I'm not saying that it happens all the time where they disclose the specific identity of the team. And I don't know that. I would expect Conway did not do that here.
Right.
But they would 100% say, look, I'll give you an hour or 2 hours or 6, whatever it is. But here are the elements of the deal that I'm going to make unless you can step up and make a better offer. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
And Dregs, like I think part of this is that you're not going to get people's best offers in November and December because there's just a lot of clock left. You want to build some cap space, as a lot of these teams are slowly doing with each day that rolls off the clock. You don't know what your injury situation is. Like, I feel like you're now within a month. It's a month today is the deadline. This is when people are going to give you their best offers. You can try to push the agenda December 8th. I don't know that anyone listens. You have people's attention now.
Yes. And that's why we're always reminding, because we're told by general managers and sources, often wait until after the NHL All-Star. And when you get past the All-Star, then you're right. Most of the salary cap day by day has been paid down. The parity also starts to drift a little bit, right? And we're looking at the NHL standings today. And, you're looking at the Calgary Flames nibbling. I'm looking at a couple of other teams right now that are of interest. The Washington Capitals. The Capitals prior to the All-Star break felt like they needed to win 2 or 3 before making decisions. Well, they don't, and then they come out of the All-Star and they get kicked in the shins by the Montreal Canadiens earlier this week, 5-2. And then guess what? Now, all of a sudden, Brian McCullum, the general manager there, is going, all right, well, I'm maybe another 2-3 games and I'm going to call it. And I'm going to put Joel Edmondson legitimately on the trade block. Anthony Mantha's name is always kind of out there, but no, legitimately, I'm going to put this big forward into the trade mix and see what happens. So that's part of why you have to wait until we're now just several days from the trade deadline. It's not always just about the offers that are trickling in. 90% of what happens over the course of the year is tire kicking. Well, we're kind of in the market. If, when you get to the place on Lindholm or Tanev or Hannafin or anyone else, make sure you give us a call. Now it's serious. Now they're really chewing on it.
It's interesting with the LA Kings. They make the coaching change. And I have to believe that Rob Blake didn't want to make that move.
No chance.
And I guess I don't know what player movement you can make or how else you shake up that room. And we've talked about Pierre-Luc Dubois and what that is, but this is still, you take that away, this is a very good hockey team that should be a slam dunk playoff team that should be favored in a lot of first round series. They're right on the edge. What, again, not Jim Hiller, is that, he's the interim, is that the interim or he's the guy? It looks like there's a real issue going on there. Can they address it by way of a change, or what do you do? Is it Hiller moving forward? Is he the guy for the rest of the season? What's going on in LA?
Yeah, rest of the season. And I think that's just an acknowledgement by Rob Blake and Luc Robitaille, management of the Los Angeles Kings, that if this team doesn't pull itself out of the mud, there's going to be a lot bigger issues, and there's going to be bigger changes coming in the offseason. I mean, Blakey I think he's in the second year of a 3-year extension, so he's got 1 more year left. There isn't a general manager that takes any joy out of firing a coach in season, firing a coach period, but in season, it's just an acknowledgement of failure across the board. That's really what it is. But I saw Rob Blake the other day as part of that Todd McClellan, announcement. He looked like he was done. And you're talking about a guy who's been there, done that at every level of hockey and in management. And so he feels responsible. So I'm going to be very interested to see what changes, if any, are going to happen on the management side in the offseason. And then that'll tell you what the future is of Jim Hiller and potentially DJ Smith, who's join that staff. I mean, he's pretty close with Jim Hiller dating back to the Maple Leafs days, but you can't just throw the towel in here either. So, Cam Talbot, looked like he had refreshed his game for the first, 15, 20, maybe 25 games. And now he's struggling to stop a beach ball in the last several weeks. So is there an affordable change, upgrade, something that Blake can do? And I keep looking at Jake Allen with the Montreal Canadiens, and mostly because he's probably the most affordable of the goaltenders. I mean, they're not swinging for the fence on a goalie again in Los Angeles. So I think you take Markstrom out of the equation there. John Gibson, I don't think so. I mean, Jake Allen seems to be the most affordable fit, but that's kind of tinkering at this stage for the Kings.
Always interesting to watch those teams that maybe have a management group that's near the end. And is there a desperation blockbuster that they make? I don't know what's going on in Columbus with Jarmo Kekalainen. You mentioned Rob Blake. It just always feels, if I'm an owner, I'm going to need some final say on a deal before you make some wild last-ditch effort to pull the team out of the quagmire that sets us back 5 years.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I mean, we would read the Columbus situation similarly. And I asked about that a couple of weeks back, and I was told that, no. Jarmo still has the anonymity. He still has the authority to move forward. Now, he's got John Davidson there, right? So, he wouldn't make a move or advance without talking to JD. But, I mean, the people of the Columbus Blue Jackets internally would tell you that they've felt like there's change coming in management for a long time. And when you get through this year of your ownership and you do the full assessment of the year that starts with the debacle that was hiring of Mike Babcock and how that quickly went sideways, and then another non-playoff season for the Columbus Blue Jackets, I like Jarmo. Jarmo's done good things for that organization when you measure the body of the work, but it seems pretty obvious there's going to be changes coming there.
What Flames are in Jersey tonight? What are they looking at? Because this was a group that I think everyone was quite high on in the offseason. Schmid had that incredible playoff debut or baptism, so to speak. They haven't had the saves. They're really dinged up on the back end. They lose 2 players to the 2018 investigation, making them even thinner. What's the path forward for Fitzgerald?
Well, he's been on a couple of things. It feels like he's been in on goaltending forever, right? And if you're going to take a mulligan, you got to wonder about if Fitzgerald would have done things different in the offseason. I had this conversation with Kevin Cheveldayoff recently about Connor Hellebuck and how there just wasn't a market. Like, it was so thin, the interest was so limited in Connor Hellebuck in the offseason that they just went, all right, well, we're not giving this guy away. He's a Vezina Trophy winner, so let's just take our chances that we're going to be able to extend. Well, New Jersey was one of those teams that was at least kicking tires on Connor Hellebuck. And I know that Fitzgerald didn't like what he was reading and hearing about what a contract extension for Connor Hellebuck was going to look like, because of all of the pieces that the New Jersey Devils are comprised of, the big contracts that they have, and on and on and on it goes. But he's still looking for a goalie, and he's going to continue to look for a goalie. But as I mentioned earlier, he's in on Sean Walker. So if he's in on Sean Walker, he's got to be talking to Conroy and the Flames on Chris Danoff, right? So there's a couple of needs for Fitzgerald and the New Jersey Devils, but you also have to wonder, and that ownership is on it there too, right? Like, he just got extended. So I'm not talking about job security for Tom Fitzgerald, but that's an ownership that is rabidly hungry to win. They really felt coming off last year that they were going to turn the corner and away they'd go. Ryan, as you talked about, they've gone through some significant injuries here, but goaltending has been a weakness for them for too long. So that's probably the area of most need, but I know that he's in on conversations with adding a defenseman as well.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. You don't need 920, 930 save percentage goaltending. It'd be nice, but you can't absorb 880 in the playoffs. You can't do it.
You can't.
To that end, we talked to Noodles yesterday. He, of course, being the goalie savant that he is. Shesterkin in New York. This was the season. Dollar for dollar, maybe the best goalie on the planet up until recently. He's now under 900 save percentage. Jonathan Quick, the guy for the Rangers in a playoff push, didn't see it coming.
No, no. And I would concede to Noodles and the goalie fraternity, because how could you possibly see that coming? I mean, this was really a flyer by Chris Drury and the New York Rangers, just thinking, all right, well, we can't afford to really deeply invest in that position. We just need somebody who can shoulder a bit of the load. Shesterkin's a workhorse. We know we're good in goal. Everything will be fine. And then you look at Georgiev and, the starts that he's had, who, for the most part, he's played pretty well, and they just continue to throw work at him. So he also is a workhorse. So I guess what we're seeing now with the New York Rangers and Shesterkin is hoping that he can hit a bit of a reset button, which isn't easy to do when you're in season, especially with a goalie. I look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I thought Ilya Samsonov was dead and buried. I mean, the way that he was playing, and then the fact that he cleared waivers and they sent him to the American League. They didn't even want him to play in the American League. They didn't even want him to practice. All they wanted him to do was work with the goalie people there and work with their psychological coaching people to get his mindset back to where he needs to be able to compete. Whatever they did for Ilya Samsonov, man, it's worked. It's worked because he's been excellent. The goaltending now in Toronto has worked out well. So maybe that's what they're trying to do with Shesterkin in New York.
Even Antti Ranta went down for a bit, and he did play, which is the difference. But he's come back, and they've had better net minding. It's interesting. Like, this position is just so incredibly hard to predict and volatile, and yet it seems to be the most important.
And honestly, I think that's why the goalie market really hasn't gone anywhere, right? Yeah. Because we're paying attention to all of this, and the fact that all of a sudden now the kind of fashionable thing to do is hit reset button with your guys, which is fine when you've got depth in that position, or at least you can find lightning in a bottle and a goalie comes up like Cal Picker did. It took a bit of heat off Stu Skinner, and away they've gone in Edmonton. So I think all of that, all the varying tentacles that go into goaltending and the market being established are impacted by several different things that we've seen this year.
Kind of putting you on the spot, and you may have nothing on it, but the Arizona Coyotes' future is bubbling this week. We heard from Marty Walsh and Gary Bettman a week ago. Do you have any kind of a sense as to what happens? Because it feels like this is something we could wake up tomorrow and have some kind of revelation as to what is happening with that team.
So only a sense. So first of all, I'll start with what I know. And what I know is that the NHL, according to sources here, has not been informed by ownership of the Arizona Coyotes that they're moving forward in any way, shape, or form. Whether they're closing in on getting that land acquisition cleaned up, whether they're considering something else. The league has not been told anything. That's what I know. So here's my sense. My sense is there's a bit of a pissing match that's going on between the league and the Marullo family, the owners of the Arizona Coyotes, right? Because when you have that level of communication disconnect, to me, that's very telling. Somebody who's followed Gary Bettman and the commissioner's office for better than 2.5 decades, I know that system and that process pretty
Gary
well.
doesn't lose those pissing matches.
No, he doesn't.
You took the words right out of my mouth, because what I was going to say is what I also know is Bettman doesn't lose. And look at, much to the chagrin of many, if not the majority of owners around the National Hockey League, Gary Bettman's persistence and patience with the Arizona Coyotes and all of the nonsense that has gone on repeatedly, in the future of this organization, he's been relentless. And you don't think he's taking heat from his bosses? I'm talking about Bettman. His bosses being the NHL owners for continually supporting and propping up the Coyotes organization. Too many times to count. So if the family in Arizona feels like their best option is to potentially be at odds, if that's what's going on, I don't know officially, to be at odds with Bettman and the other NHL owners, good luck. It's not going to play out well.
Yeah, and they propped up so many bad ownership groups there, and this feels like another. They literally got told by Glendale to leave. Like, we're tired of your shit. We'd rather lose money and not have a tenant than deal with you.
It's a weird spot for Gary, right? Because there's nothing more he wants than that team to succeed in Phoenix. But at the same time, he's got this ownership group that
that he picked
at
guys.
odds with.
He picked this group. This is a bad look for Gary.
Yeah. Well, and look, I mean, you're right. You know, we keep talking about the idea of expansion in the NHL with good reason. You know, you've got Ryan Smith, the owner of the Utah Jazz, who wants desperately to get into NHL ownership. Well, I don't think that Ryan Smith cares one way or another, whether it's relocation or it's expansion. Maybe he prefers relocation because I don't think you're getting $2 billion in relocation money. And apparently that's the going rate of what an expansion franchise is going to cost.
Well, and if you think about it, like where are the Coyotes in their life cycle? Like they are bubbling with prospects, tons of picks the last few years into these next couple drafts.
Decent team, right?
This is a great, go get it now. This is a much
100%
sexier roster than what Seattle's going to have for the next few years.
And the other thing that people don't really talk about, we did at the Board of Governors meetings in December in Seattle. So let's assume the Arizona Coyotes find a way to make the playoffs. All right.
Oh my God.
Like, come on.
What do you do? Yeah.
Well, they say they're going to play at Mullet, right?
They won't. They can't.
I mean, can you imagine being the team coming in there, you know, in round one? Like it's a junior hockey building at best, you know. And then again, because playoff revenue contributes somewhat significantly to, you know, salary
HRR.
cap increase and HRR. Yeah. I mean, come on, like what's going on here? And I mean, the league was defiant that of course they're going to play at Mullen if they make the playoffs. Why wouldn't they? Because you can only put under 5,000 people in that building, and it does not scream of premier first-rate Stanley Cup playoff experience for anybody, including the fan. So anyway, it's never ending.
It'd be like McCrimmon having to move his first round Wheat Kings playoff games to the Winnipeg Arena, Dregs.
Yes.
No
Same
one's happy
deal.
about that.
No.
Now, you maybe saw us. We kind of had a head tilt earlier. You said about teams catching lightning in a bottle. It was about 10 years ago that Warner put out how Warner gets into your head, how someone had caught lightning in a bucket. And
it's easier.
We
Still
used
to this day.
It was lightning in a bucket to this day. 2024, when I go to use the phrase lightning in a bottle, I have to, because they might catch lightning in a bottle, because we've said lightning in a bucket because of this donkey for so long. So yeah, it's be careful, Darren Dreger, because Warner.
I get it. I get it. It reminds me so much of my early days with Nick Kyprios. Because he would do the exact same thing.
God.
He'd have a phrase, but there'd be a word omitted or there'd be something added which completely changed the definition of what was being said.
Yeah, there was lightning in a bucket, and then another one of my favorites. We had T-shirts made that the truth was in the pudding.
Truth's in the pudding.
The truth is in the pudding.
Yeah,
as they say.
Rhett is.
Why shouldn't it be?
Yeah, I've spent too many years with this guy. Dregs, so you're working tomorrow, and then we'll catch up with you. What's going on tomorrow? What's
I got a lot of stuff going on. I apologize for having to change.
All good.
The truth is, full disclosure,
in the pudding.
No, my buddy is picking me up, and I'm going to Muskoka for Super Bowl.
Oh,
nice. Hey, no shame.
Yes. Sorry.
Who do you got?
Working on a very hot scoop.
Houston Niners.
Very hot scoop. Yeah. Ken,
there you go.
Ken
Go
Mahomes
Chiefs,
do it
though.
again.
What's your pick? Give us your pick. We need a Super Bowl
Kansas
pick.
City. Yeah,
Okay.
Kansas City. I just did a Buffalo program with Marty Baron and Brian Duff, and I rubbed it in there. Obviously, Bill fans don't want me to disappear, but yeah, Mahomes is better than Purdy. It's that simple.
Yeah. Dregs, enjoy the weekend, man.
Yeah, you too, guys. Don't
There you
lose
go.
too much money on the bowl.
We'll try our best. There he is, Darren Dreger, TSN, and our insider on the TELUS Insider Hotline. World-leading technology. It's right at the fingertips, thanks to TELUS, driving meaningful change from transforming healthcare, making our food supply more sustainable, reducing our environmental footprint, and connecting Canadians in need. The most giving company in the world, it's TELUS, making the future friendly. Learn more at TELUS.com/givesback. How good's Dregs?
Awesome.
It's great.
How good is
No,
Dregs?
because you go back with Dregs. I don't know that I'd met him before, but he can hang with this show. I wasn't sure if he'd be too serious. Not at all.
Isn't he
What a
from
beauty.
Sask?
He's a Sasker.
See, I should have known.
In that Langenberg
Oh yeah,
It's kind of like Pahal in that Estevan, Langenberg, Esterhazy, Churchbridge little kind of
good stock there.
pocket of the world there. Yeah. But yeah, when I first started doing broadcasting, he was the TV, kind of the 6 o'clock sports director anchor at the station where I started. So of course it's like, there's friggin' Darren Dreger over here. And his dad, no one cares. Why am I telling this story?
That's
Anyway,
good.
his
Come on,
dad
you're
was
gonna-
part owner of the Ford dealership
Oh.
in my hometown. So I was like, oh, your dad, this sort of thing. And then we got talking sports guys and that, and he is a beauty. I always love when you see he's very prim and proper and he's this insider. That's one side of Darren Dreger. Yeah.
It's like that shirt, the picture of Ron McLean with no shirt, hammering a beer that everyone
Something
loves.
like that,
in a
yeah,
bar.
yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's the guy that's waxing
this-
poetic about the
right
mayor
here,
of
some
Kitchener,
Seagram's VO
Ontario.
whiskey. There's been a few
Yeah.
nights around a campfire with one or two of those on the go, I can tell you. Seagram's VO Select Canadian whiskey, artfully blended, impeccably crafted. Make it your very own. Of course, we were at the All-Star Game with Sponsorship X last weekend at the Royal York inside the Seagram's VO Whiskey studio. Yeah, very nice. It's the if you're gonna sit down like this weekend, it's Super Bowl. If you're gonna sit down and have a maybe have a cocktail, why would you do anything but have one of the best? Originally introduced back in the 1900s, Seagram's VO designed as a wedding gift for his son from Joseph E. Seagram. Barrels set aside in the warehouse, specifically marked VO as the family's very own whiskey, and they liked it so much they said, let's put it out on the market and see how it does. And it's become one of the most successful whiskeys ever to come from Canada. Seagram's VO Select.
My family's very own whiskey, barrel aged and set apart, marked with VO, artfully blended, impeccably crafted, as a wedding gift to my son, for the bride and groom. And now, over a century later, from our very own family to yours, a legacy rooted in whiskey. Seagram's VO, growing deeper, reaching out, raising a glass to your legacy. Seagram's VO, make it your very own.
So there you go. Little
Sorry.
Seagram's. Huh?
Shut up, Pinder.
I know. No, that's
I
another
tried my
part of my
hardest.
life that no, you don't try your hardest.
Imagine if I wasn't trying, how bad it would be.
It's a fine line, Pinder, because sometimes you be like me and you don't say anything, you get shit for that too.
Just doing our best. That's all we can do. I was going to say, we finished our last show Friday in Toronto. Rhett had to drive back, and I think you had the shoveler and one of your kids off to Cleveland. You had to hustle home back to Buffalo. Dean's flight wasn't until I don't think like 6 or 7, and we're talking like maybe it's 1 p.m, 2. And what are you going to do, Dean? You want to go grab it? I am going to the airport, and I will see if they can move me up a flight. I am done with Toronto. Just right to the train to the airport. Done. But the rest of us following the shows, with Gary and Gary Bettman and the new PA head, Marty Walsh, had a little fireside chat with David Amber, of course, from Hockey Night Canada. And a lot of people gathered in the conference center for that room. And then that cleared out. And a couple of the sales guys said, the people at Seagram's are very happy. Why don't we celebrate this successful week in the Royal York? And we filled up a few glasses, sat in there, watched the conference room empty. Smooth, Dino.
Clink, 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 clink.
Smooth. It's quite impressed.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
A lot of O's.
From a professional booze can. Like
Yeah, seriously.
VO.
Approval there.
Oh. 1921. That's when Bonton Meat Market opened its doors, and all they've done since then is provide the highest quality product and treat customers like family. AAA Alberta beef, free-range poultry, grain-fed Alberta lamb, milk-fed veal, fresh Alberta pork. Once again, Bonton Meats, Calgary Consumer Choice Award winner for Best Deli Meat Market. Maybe don't be like Rhett. Don't move 2 time zones away and deprive yourself of Bonton Meats.
Why would you?
Live right in the belly of the beast and be able to enjoy it on a daily basis as after they fill your freezer with it. 28 Crowfoot Circle Northwest, Bonton Meat Market. Super Bowl weekend coming up. Why wouldn't you?
It's one of the first things I did when I got back last summer was fill my freezer with
you did.
Bonton.
Why wouldn't you?
Now, you were given a homework assignment yesterday, Rhett. Do you remember that?
No. CTE.
CTE ESPN.
CTE or
LAZ.
or lack of
DFC.
GAS.
DFC is also part of it.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's too many C bombs. We've met our
No.
quota for sure today.
No, don't care.
Oh, yeah. Well,
DFC.
trust me.
Yeah.
DFC,
Coming through loud. and
that
clear.
works as well for both of you. Yeah. We'll do some Ask Rhett. Rhett from Greg in Saskatoon.
Oh.
Rhett, how close were you to purchasing the Saskatoon Blades when they were for sale? Who was a part of the buyer group? How did it all go down?
I don't know that we were ever that close. I think we were in the ballpark as far as cost and willingness to pay a price for it. But I think there was a deal that was pretty much in the bag for the ownership, the Brodsky ownership, before we even got to the table. So,
And who was the we? There was
a bunch of
alumni, right?
There was a bunch of guys, but there was also a bunch of guys that were hanger-oners that weren't going to put a bunch of dough into it, but were alumni and wanted to be part of it.
I like my name on this. I'll give you $10.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if you guys pay for it, I'll come to the rink once in a while.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, when you retire my number, I'll visit. How's that sound?
It's
They're
kind of
doing
like
very
Pinder
well,
and I.
though.
They're doing well.
Yeah.
Good to see. Our boy Wasey Rabbit out there killing it. They're having a great season. I think they're the top record in the whole league last time I checked, not just the Eastern Conference.
Blades. Go
Blades. The Saskatoon Blades, they're like a team that's been kicked in the nuts enough. They need some
time.
victories there.
Well, and they had that monster series, not to mention the last 2 games of the regular season against Bedard's Pats last year. That was an epic.
They had the playoffs against them too. So it was the
That's
last
right,
2
yeah.
games of the regular season plus the first round of the playoffs, which Regina went up 2-0 and the Saskatoon came back to win.
It's 7 games, 9 games in a row against Bedard. That's going to be good for business.
That helps. That helps.
That helps the
bottom
Conference.
This is Ask Rhett. I think we kind of got
we did, sorry.
self-explanatory. This is from Stewart. Hey, Rhett. Back when I was in elementary school, about 08-09, Curtis McElhenney went to the same church as me. Aside from being the tallest human I'd ever met in my life, I remember him being extremely kind and would talk to us kids about being in the NHL. Do you have any stories of him being an absolute degenerate, or was he just always a nice guy?
Extremely nice. Tabasco he's a very nice man. And is he tall?
He's a goalie.
I don't think Curtis.
If you're a kid,
McElhenney
he'd
was,
be.
I guess.
And you know what it is, that when they're in shape, they're lean.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, Greyhounds.
Praying
I remember,
mantises,
right? I remember seeing Cam Talbot. It's like, you didn't strike me as being a greyhound in a suit, but yet there you are, nothing but sea and ribs, as they say.
No, Curtis was quiet and pleasant and very good guy. Loves fly fishing.
There you go. And Stuart understands how it goes, and he says, P.S. Since I know I have to have a food question, fresh garlic or pre-minced garlic?
Oh, please.
Attaboy, Stuart.
Come on, fresh.
I was always sad that Tabasco nickname never caught on.
I
It's
know.
Oh, you
great.
tried all gas, no brakes on that, trying to get Tabasco to work.
I was too late, though. I think by the time I was in the show, McElhenney
He
had
was
left.
already gone from Calgary too.
Yeah,
so you
but
didn't
it was
have
just
long.
like, damn it. Like, I think someone dropped it in a column early on, and how did that not stick?
Okay, ask. Now back to the garlic.
Yeah.
Now I know that there's certain that you got to dice it up and mince it and do all this shit. Yeah, okay. But which show was it? It was a gangster movie where they're in the
That's
prison.
Goodfellas.
It was Goodfellas.
They're
right?
in prison
Where you
with
gotta
the razor
slice it
blade.
with the razor as thin as possible.
That was Paulie.
Do that. Do that.
Just very thinly sliced the
Paper
garlic.
thin.
And you can't cook it for too long because it burns.
It does.
When
too.
if you're putting the oil into the saute pan, you put the onions and the garlic in at the same time.
You've ruined it.
It's no good, dude. You cook the onions, get them translucent, then garlic for just a little bit,
Just a little.
but just a little bit. Hey, Rhett, this is from Jay. I've not vetted these. We'll see how this goes. Hey, Rhett, My wife is on a 6-month mat leave and decided to pick up a new hobby. She's watching do-it-yourself TikToks and now wants to build and refurbish furniture, make feature walls around the house, and so on. She's only missing a few key things: tools and any experience at all. How do I support this new venture?
Failure is the best way to learn whether you're capable or not. So I say start. First of all, don't sink a bunch of dough into it. You don't want to go buy expensive gear thinking this is going to last, because it won't. But allow that person living in your house 1 or 2 projects, and then you could do a TikTok on how long it takes to get the project done and how shitty it is at the end.
Mhm.
And if it's good, you can sell it and make a bunch of money.
So the support would be by not supporting at all. Just let it sink or swim.
Yeah. Don't be, and Mark, I'm giving you a warning here. Don't get involved. Don't
Yeah, that's
offer
true.
advice. Do not become part of the plan. This is not your thing. This is her thing. Because the moment you start doing it, it's expected.
What about critiquing the project as it's coming
Shut
along?
your mouth when
Got
you're
it.
talking to me.
Because that's a nail gun to the head.
Yeah, there's a no.
I would think if boy, it's really looking good there, babe. Oh, got a friggin' nail in my neck. All right, no, okay, I'll just be leaving. Hey, Retro. This is good. This is from Mark. Retro, can you explain why I put my keys in my left pocket and then proceed to pick up my groceries or whatever else I have with my left hand? Am I special or just special?
You want to keep your right hand open for business when you use it for stuff, right? So you get out of the vehicle, clink, off. You open the door with your left hand because you've been driving, right?
Yep.
Open with your left. So now the door is open. You can't stuff your key in your pocket while you're still sitting, so it's still in your right hand. As you exit the vehicle, you make the key transfer because you want to keep the right hand open for business. Left hand, the keys go in the pocket, shut the door with the right hand, carry on about your day. When you're doing the thing across the scanner at the market, beep, 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 you pay. You got to use your right hand to punch in the pin or tap the card, whatever it is, right? Now you got your right hand has your wallet. It goes in the back pocket. You reach, you grab the groceries with the left because you need your right to open doors.
It's open for business.
Yeah, I end up doing that a lot too.
I did it today. I had to do this.
Yeah, you're going across the body. It's like a quarterback. You never go back across your body. You
Don't go against the grain, Dean.
Yeah, you don't do it. And I'll do the same thing. And I'll be going across, like, maybe because I've got the key fob. Then you're feeling, okay, where's the lock and the unlock? Okay, and then whack, whack, whack. Oh, for fuck's sakes, Christ! Then you're putting
Some of these new fancy rigs, though, they got if it's close, it opens.
Yeah.
Knows you're there.
I can't
Doesn't know,
afford
Dean.
those. I can't afford.
Let them know you're there. Let them know you're there.
That's why, Mark. It's not your fault. It's the way we're made.
Rhett, what is your go-to Chinese food meal?
Well, I've had shark fin soup, and it ain't that.
Unnecessary.
It was, and
don't need to kill a shark for that.
You don't need sharks.
Yeah, don't need the
Don't
sharks.
need them in the water.
We were
Don't need them on the plate.
We traveled through China, the shoveler and myself and Montador. Don't read into that at all. And
I'd heard stories.
Anyway, we were doing a culinary tour one day, and we got shark fin soup. Nasty. Dean, you
no
wouldn't
bueno.
You love soup? Not
I do.
I like some spice, but the shoveler didn't grow up with it, so we rarely get it. It's more of a special treat when I go to Saskatoon. So I want a bit of everything. I want it all. And I make sure to order knowing, because there's always leftovers, but I order a couple dishes that I maybe don't have in the first feast that I eat a couple of hours later. So I get to change it up and get it all. It's not a very good answer, but
yeah. No, it's all right. It's all right. Just now, I got lost in the vortex. I'm now thinking of Chinese food for dinner.
What's your go-to, Dean?
You know what? Did I say this yesterday? When you were doing the DoorDash yesterday, you usually ask me what my meal's going to be.
Yeah.
It was going to be orange sesame chicken.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. It's good.
How do you say the general one?
General Tao? General Sao? I don't know.
Yeah, that one.
Just
I really like that one.
Tao.
Yeah.
What's the one? Ginger beef.
Calgary invention, some people say.
Yes,
Don't know if it's true.
They do say that, which seems weird.
A lot of people are saying that.
They all are. Yeah.
Yeah.
They really are.
Which would classify as Canadian food, interestingly, not Chinese food.
Well, my wife's uncle lives in Vancouver, where they have a lot of, obviously, they're Asian food, Chinese food. He prefers, it's kind of the westernized.
Yeah.
So like fake Chinese food, like we would have it. So he's got to come here to get away from actual Chinese food. And not to say there's anything wrong with that, but he's always excited when he comes out. Can we get some sweet and sour chicken balls and some ginger beef?
Totally.
It's like, that's not really Chinese food.
Doug and Lulu love the place in Mackenzie Lake.
Yeah.
Where
A
lot of people do. Lady. Yeah,
a lot of people.
Look at this. Here's Matt Kellett in the chat, our boy. Look at this.
Right,
Silver Inn created ginger beef. Everyone's saying it's true.
Door. Isn't that something?
Hall of Famer right there.
That and the Caesar. I mean, good luck hanging with
Tate
Calgary
McRae.
peoples.
And Tate
Caesar?
McRae, country music superstar.
Tate McRae, not country Dean. I'm sorry,
What?
Tate. I'll try. I'm gonna make it up to you.
Take it
Very
back.
sorry.
I bet you would. Hey, Rhett, what's the best fried chicken place in Calgary? That's from Brad.
Dean,
That's
I'm
from
going to let
Lubbock.
you answer.
It's
Dean,
Dean's.
what are you going to answer there? Just down the street from you. Come on.
I know. No, I know.
Get some free stuff or what?
I'm trying. I'm giving it a thought before I just blurt out an answer because it's at the front of my.
No, I think it is the best.
We know it is. It's just how are you gonna tap dance around this one?
It's the Cluck and Cleaver. It's my favorite. I've had the chicken on the go, and I enjoy it. Yeah,
Chicken on the way,
or whatever the fuck it is.
Yep.
But man, the Cluck and Cleaver is hard to beat.
It's unbelievable. Yeah,
it's really good. Chicken on the whatever it is.
Lots of love for all those places.
And you know what?
Also, it's fried chicken, so
how bad can it be?
You know what else though? My kids don't like it.
Oh,
kick 'em out.
Having a sleepover at Uncle Cool's house, self-proclaimed.
Uncle Cool.
Gonna treat him to a nice kid-friendly meal. Orders a bucket of bird. Not eating that shit.
Oh,
what the?
What the hell are you trying to feed me, Uncle?
Really?
Yeah, told him to shove it.
You need to put those boys in a fast for 3 days and then offer them fried chicken and watch their eyes light up. Their tune will change right quick.
They got too much Italian in them.
Doesn't need to be repeated. It's just for in case
if you're in the YouTube,
watching,
Big D, of course he likes fried chicken. You knew he would. Yeah, you knew he would. And maybe you want to do it at do it. And listen, the Colonel's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah,
you can't have that much success and be poor.
Colonel knows what he's doing.
Poor at doing it is what I mean.
How many is it? A bunch of herbs and spices. A bunch of. How many is there? A number
12.
on it? 12 something.
17.
He's got it figured. He's got it nailed down. He's got it nailed down. That's Ask Rhett, a presentation of Bonton Meat. Maybe you want to make it at home. You know what? Here's the thing. It's not Cluck and Cleaver. It's not chicken on the whatever it is. But I like to think I make a pretty good homemade fried chicken.
Wouldn't know. I've never been invited over.
Jack's already blocked you.
Give you a freaking dog. And I
Invite him
still
over
can't
now.
get.
You put a block of lard in there.
Okay.
That's the key. It's like you put oil, lard, oil,
Peanut oil or regular oil?
regular oil. Yeah.
Good.
But the lard is the key because it's just so friggin' rich.
See.
Cut up your chicken, egg wash, batter. If you want to do it again, go ahead. Egg wash, batter, double batter that son of a gun, or whatever you want to do. And then you fry it in your pan. You know, deep fry it or whatever you want to do. The key though, listen to me now.
Tell me you just I'm keeping my fingers crossed here.
Well, I'm just saying it's whatever your spice mix is, everybody have whatever. You got to finish it in the oven. Don't just take it because you know sometimes then you got like the blood coming out of the joints of the chicken or whatever. It's like, oh, I don't know if I like. Put it into the oven. That gets it nice and crispy. That's where you get the crispiness of it on a wire rack. So it's
drippy.
Circulates around. You could do even a convection style.
Sure, you could.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you brine that shit?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know what? Buttermilk it.
Yeah.
Regular milk it.
Yeah.
Salt water brine it. And you don't, it's not like, oh, we're going to have chicken in a week. I got to start brining the thing. No, just take an hour is better than 0.
Really?
You know, you're having fried chicken, cut up your chicken, get a nice, not glass bowl. Don't use some plastic bowl because we're going to start killing people. Get a glass bowl, salt water brine. If that's, put the chicken in there, make sure it's all nicely submerged, put some cling wrap on it. Cause then some dumb kid's going to come in. Oh, I need a can of pop or something and gloosh all over your cling wrap it, put it in your fridge, bring it out. Now let it sit for a bit before you start frying it. Cause it's cold, right? If it's been in the fridge, get it up to, if it's at room temperature. No, it's not like you're going to start eating it once it's at room temperature, stupid. Fucking stupid people.
So 2 things, Pinder. You don't have to worry about this because there's no effing way you're ever having fried chicken at your house. And second, when I was in Florida with kids, I think I've told this, Rob Niedermeyer is so dumb. We're at Joe Vanoski's house and we're grilling chicken breasts. You've had them marinating and this and that sauce. Idiot takes his bread and starts dipping it in the.
Oh, no.
We're like, what are you? He's like, what? What do you what? You can't do that.
You want salmonella, Robbie?
Jeez.
Special needs. That's what they called him.
Nice kid.
Well, yeah, I was talking to somebody and I said, if you're having turkey at Christmas or whatever, you let it sit. It's like most things, certainly like a roast or steaks, but certainly a turkey. When the turkey comes out, you can let it sit, tent it with the foil. Let it sit. It's going to continue to carry. The temperature is going to carry. It's going to kind of keep cooking, but and the percent. Oh, I thought you get salmonella by letting the cooked bird sit out on the. That'll do it. How do we feel about this game tonight?
Excited to see some of these new faces, Dino.
Let's go.
You know who's been absolutely just stripped of any recognition? It's our boy Braden Pahal, who I think had a pretty solid debut for a waiver claim, just because Menkov, or whatever Rick calls him, stole the freaking spotlight.
No, we talked about when we were talking about hungry for more after the game. I'm hungry for more Pahal.
Like it.
Throwing his body around.
Physical.
Guy wants to be here.
Thought he might have scrapped there for a moment. Hey?
Estevan, Saskatchewan wants to play in Western Canada. Let's go. Let's go.
Do you remember who was shooting the Dukes?
Oh, I thought about. I remembered it.
I tried to remember the other day, and I forgot. It just came to me.
You remember it?
Yes.
Who was shooting the old
Tommy
Wingles?
Shooting the old Dukes.
He said, "You want to shoot the old Dukes? Take a ride in the Tilt-A-Whirl. Shoot
the old Dukes. Tommy Wingles.
Yeah."
We did our cleaning it up for you.
Yeah, cleaning it up for you. Really looking forward to Afterburner tonight.
Yes. Cammy and potentially even Rhett.
I can always watch the 9-minute version after.
Well, you've cornered the market on that. Yeah.
Don't like that kind of we like the full version better.
Will you watch a game ever again, or?
I watched the game the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. 80% of it.
See, the 100% game is what we want for Afterburner.
It's a lot. You got to go to the can, make some popcorn.
Intermissions. Come
miss
on,
the
man.
Time.
There's 3 TV timeouts a period.
I
What are you
got 3
talking
kids
about?
at the house. Intermissions are busy.
Yeah.
You're not at the house tonight. MSG game. Remember,
That's
you're
a
at the
big
pub.
issue. That's a
Going to
big
the
issue.
basement of that pub with the big screens. Canucks, Bruins, Flames, Devils.
But then I have pub food and pub drinks, and then I can't get home from the pub, and I don't have my gear to work from the pub. And Cammy, good luck.
Cammy, good luck is right.
See, I even feel like it's not fair to do to Cammy. Welcome to Afterburner. It's Cammy along with Rhett Warner, who I must be having some technical difficulties. I could say we can't hear his microphone. It looks like he's got some indigestion of some sort. There's a lot of this going on. We're not sure. He leaves for minutes at a time. Afterburner after the game. Go on the YouTubes and watch it there. And
I also may not be on tomorrow's show. I still haven't decided that. So
it's nice, this partnership we have. This business that we've started, this business venture, this all for one and one for all. It is great for sure.
Great teamwork being exhibited
to
today.
my confidence in the two of you to allow you to
do all of the work, and you get to be a guest on the show.
Mm-hmm.
What do we? Yeah, it's a decent deal for sure. Coming up now, we're working on. I got a little bit of sass from somebody within the company.
What?
It wasn't sass. It was just kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't think just if you could just do that for me and not ask why it needs to be or what it's all about, that'd be great. But Great Clips, part of the Barn Burner family.
Oh,
welcome to Great Clips. It's gonna be great. We are going to be introducing the Great Clips inbox. It's kind of like the mailbag segment. We've got Ask Rhett, but maybe you want to ask some other things. Maybe actually you want to ask hockey questions. It's kind of the unwritten rule with Ask Rhett. You don't get your hockey questions out of here. Maybe you want to ask hockey questions. Maybe you want to ask life questions. Whatever it is, it's all going to be part of the Great Clips inbox. And what it was is I said, we need to get the email address set up. And it was what kind of emails are going to be coming to this email address? And I kind of wanted to say, why don't you just STFU and just set up the email address, if you wouldn't mind. Great Clips inbox at flamesnation.ca will be the email. We'll be doing it once a week at minimum. We might just throw it in if there's a bunch of good stuff. We may just throw it in there. But Great Clips is on board with us moving forward, and we appreciate that. We appreciate them. And of course, with Great Clips, let's go. Locally owned and operated, open 7 days a week, more than 44 hair salons throughout the U.S. and Canada. The largest hair salon brand and the official hair salon of the National Hockey League. Oh. They've got the Great Clips check-in app. You can see what the wait time is. You can check in on your phone so that you're not sitting there. They have a ready next text alert that can say, hey, 15 minutes away, start heading over. Yep. They've changed the way that barbershops and salons are doing business. Greatclips.com is their website. And of course, go and get that Great Clips app. Great Clips, it's going to be great. And we will be opening up the Great Clips inbox very soon. So
Rhett was showing you a photo. What do you got there?
Oh,
lost it.
Dark. Do you think this idiot needs?
It's time. Tell him to get the Great Clips app.
Like
for
a
sure.
young shoveler there. That is an uncanny resemblance to the shoveler.
Yeah, that's a loaf. Moly. Yeah, that is a loaf for sure.
Nice
on top there.
Been telling this kid for months. It's time for a trim. I don't want to. Anyway, we're going Great Clips.
And if you're in the comments and you want to get something read on, just throw in the old hashtag Great Clips inbox.
Yeah, if you're on the X, use the hashtag. We'll get all that on.
Look at that.
Starting with Great
Thank
Clips.
you, Jack.
Great. I see just because I'm on the thing. Jack, do we have a construction update? Is that what we're looking at? Because our lovely studios, there's some construction going on outside. Noise, some inconvenience.
Quite noisy. Vacuum
parking.
Trucks, flashing lights. There's machines holding up telephone poles so they don't fall over. This is this morning, Dean. Just
that's today. Okay.
Foggy doggy out there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. the vacuuming.
Almost done.
Yeah, really close. Just
just putting the final touches.
One coat of paint and we're out of here. That's what they said. Can't wait to get you back in the studio when this is all done in 2027.
Yeah, I look forward to coming back down and being there. As
soon as it's wrapped up.
As soon as they wrap that thing.
As soon as you're tidy.
Look forward to being in there. And I see there's another thing, the controversy over the ginger beef. Calgary or what?
Oh,
ginger beef was invented in Calgary in the 1970s at the Silver Inn restaurant. In 1975, sisters Lily Wong and Louise Sang opened the restaurant as a chop suey restaurant, serving up Chinese Canadian food. That's kind of what we're saying.
Yes.
So it's maybe not your traditional Asian or Chinese food, but it's got the Canadian twist on it, and I'm here for it. So thank you to Lily and Louise, and of course Matt Kellett, who was in on the chat earlier and told us that in fact it was the Silver Inn restaurant.
Nailed it, Matt.
Get on the DoorDash, get some of that
ginger beef, eh? What a town this Calgary is.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Once you tell Hannafin he's not going to have the ginger beef is good, maybe he does sign that thing.
Maybe. Hey, Tanev, I know you love your ginger beef.
That's right.
You better get it to go because you're getting out of here. Pack your ass.
Tate McRae and ginger beef and Caesars.
Crazy.
Greatest place in the whole damn world.
Crazy. Enjoy the game tonight. We're back tomorrow. Some of us are. Actually, it's funny you mentioned, I might not be here either. I got another thing tomorrow. So if I'm on, it'll be on location for sure.
For sure. It's a for sure.
Yeah.
We do have a guest joining us from Vegas to talk Super Bowl tomorrow. That'll be good. And we've got obviously Cammy's thoughts on the game, potentially even Rhett's thoughts with some Afterburner clips, a Pinder Report, and our McLeod Law opening statements as well. Have a day, Dean.
That'll do it. See you, buddies.